Good afternoon, or good morning, or evening to everyone watching today, depending on where you are right now. Welcome to our episode number 31 of my series, What's Your Spark, here on LinkedIn. And today I'm here with Heather Letts from Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to the show, Heather.
Thank you, Regina. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so delighted that you're joining us today here. It's a special pleasure to have you on my show, Heather. So good afternoon to you.
Thank you.
It just started there, the afternoon. So before Heather shares her unique brilliance with us, please, everyone watching, hit that like button, share your comments in the comment section. And if you're not catching this live, you can still comment and ask questions, of course, anyway, and we'll check on those later. This series is for anyone who loves to be inspired by other women who are contributing their insights, their wisdom, their knowledge, their stories, their unique brilliance, or in a word, their special spark. And today I have the great pleasure to introduce you to Heather Letts and share her with you. So Heather Letts is a Senior Senior Vice President at Northern Trust, where her current role is that of North America Head of Privacy. And I know that Heather also loves yoga. So maybe you can touch on that a little later and see how that fits into your story of a successful career and your special spark as well. So that would be nice. Okay, awesome. So let's kick it right off with my first question. My first question to you is, if I asked you what your special spark is, Heather, how would you describe that to me?
Sure. So when I think about what is your spark, I think about developing others. One of our previous CEOs talked about managing by reflected light, and that really resonated with me. You don't have to be out front to make your mark. You can make your mark by working with others and lifting them up. You don't have to have direct reports to manage. You have the ability to influence. You can manage up, you can manage down, you can manage sideways, all of your relationships.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, and I know you're a real great expert in that, and that's also very necessary in your current role, because of what it is, right? It's not a topic that everybody loves, probably in your organization, I could imagine. So, it gives you that opportunity to really grow with this and learn how to do this in a very, very in an excellent way, I would say, in an outstanding way. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree. I mean, I've always subscribed to the philosophy that you can make your role as much as you want, right? If you think about
Mhm,
your expectations, those are your expectations. That's what's
mhm.
expected of you. But you can always take it to the next level and seek to exceed your expectations. So it's really, where do you want to be? And I really look forward to working with partners both internal to my organization and externally to help them along on their path, understanding what their skill sets are and pointing them in the right direction, being a sounding board for others.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Heather. Yes, you always make of your role what you can, or the best of it. Yes. If we took the same job description and gave it to different people, they do something completely different with it, probably, right? And you do it in your very own way. And I know that you're super, super professional, of course, but you also have some very specific strengths that are absolutely required for your role, and others that give it the special thing, right? That level of excellency that you display in your role and with the people around you. So how did you find your spark, Heather? How did our audience loves stories. So what's the story behind your spark?
Sure. So I would say over time, I've become more aware of myself
Mhm.
and of my skill sets. Some of that happens by way of experiences that you have both internally and externally, right?
Yeah.
It, it's all part of the equation. I've always had an outgoing personality and the ability to connect with others. If I take a trip back to my upbringing in Southern California, from the time I was on high school cheer as the mascot for Point Loma High School, driving girls home after practice when other folks on the team didn't necessarily want to drive to the southeast side of San Diego. I was building relationships and taking care of my fellow cheerleaders. And I didn't do this as some sort of recognition, right? Like I wanted a gold star. I've always led from my heart, and I think that is something that resonates not only in my work that I do, my professional life, but as well as being moonlighting as a yoga teacher. I've learned a lot, I will say, over the 26 years that I have been at my organization. You learn the behaviors that you want to emulate, and you learn those that you want to stay away from. And it's
Yeah.
only by way of taking a look around you, becoming more self aware, that you have the ability to make an impact. You have the ability to lead from that place that is uniquely you. There's only one you. So if you're trying to emulate somebody else, that will, only work on the surface level. But once somebody scratches it, then the myth is up, and you'll be found out. So I've always led from my heart, whether it be in my role at Northern Trust, or whether it be when I teach yoga classes at the Park District. Being authentically you, right? And an example there is when I took over teaching a class for another individual. I had this, I guess you would say, even as a yoga teacher, an imposter system, or an imposter syndrome, right? Like I'm stepping into your class, and I don't know if I'll be able to fill those shoes, right? And so the person that I was taking over for set me straight and said, no, you are being your authentic self. And as long as you are teaching from that place, then those that will stay at your class will stay, and those that move away, it's just because it didn't necessarily resonate with them. But that is no knock on you, as long as you are being true to yourself and the way that you have been taught.
I love this story. Yes, it's all about being authentic, being true to yourself, finding that unique spark of yours inside of yourself, right? You mentioned self-awareness, and of course, we all know that self-leadership is extremely important for any kind of leader. Leading starts with self. Greater self-awareness also helps us understand others better, but we can also learn by observing others to understand ourselves better. So that is a really, really great tip, to observe, to take what serves you and to leave what doesn't. And with that, without just giving up who you are. So you want to maybe imitate some behaviors that are potentially good for your professional advancement, but only if they're really truly aligned with who you are, and if they serve your career and also those around you. So that's really important. Okay, thanks so much for sharing that. Yeah. So how has your spark evolved over the last like 2 to 3 years? How would you describe that?
I would say, again, I've been in different roles
Mhm.
throughout time, and each of those different roles called for certain skill sets, but I was
Yeah.
able to build upon each of
Mhm.
those skill sets to get to the place where I am today.
Mhm.
Um, again, you have to be self-aware, so that doesn't necessarily, it's something that's learned, right? It,
Yeah.
it doesn't really come, you're born and all of a sudden you're self-aware,
Yeah.
right? Uh, You're born and you're a free spirit, and then all of a sudden, certain ideals get imposed right upon you, and then things start to change. But being self-aware of what are your skill sets, what are your strengths, what are maybe some things that you need to work on. Everybody has something that they need to work on. So really
Absolutely.
real with yourself, I think is one way that you become more in tune with your spark. And again, depending upon the role and the interactions, you can find your spark in your workplace. You can find your spark external to work. Generally, it would be my belief that both of those those align and really show, I would say, the underneath weaving or fabric of your authentic self.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. And it's just so important to not only focus on your shortcomings,
Yeah,
right? So especially we women, we tend to focus a lot on our shortcomings more so than on our, what I call in my work, unique assets, which are a combination of our strengths, of our unique talents, gifts, our abilities, capabilities, studies, background stories, whatever you want to pack into that, right? It's what I call distinctive uniqueness in my work, and it's that unique, special combination of who you are. So, how are you making an impact through your spark, Heather? And how does it find its expression in your work, in your role, in your job, and maybe also in the overall organization as far as you can reach?
sure, sure. Um, I believe in making an impact in every interaction that I have with partners. And it could be, somebody sending me an IM and saying, "Do you have a few minutes?" and just hopping on a quick phone call, but leaving them with what they were looking for. Right, there was an ask there, making sure that they have what they need so that they can uh, do their role. I also am a participant in business resource councils. I've always been involved in diversity, equity, and inclusion, particularly women in leadership. Obviously, I have a soft spot in my heart for women in leadership. I am one of the co-chairs of a subcommittee that builds programming for women at Northern Trust. And so
Wow,
this
yeah.
that I'm very passionate about. I'm also, I would say, I use this analogy. If you ever saw the movie Rudy and the Notre Dame connection there, before the football players go out on the field, they um, slap the sign about being a champion today.
Mhm.
And when I do go downtown, I generally walk through the main bank building on my way in to work every day. And I pass by a shadow box that has some artifacts from our founding fathers of the organization. And it also has the organization's values listed there. I walk by every day. I do not place fingers on the shadow box, but I do walk by and I look at it every day just to make sure that we're in alignment and that
Yeah.
I'm still holding true to those core values of the organization, because I feel like that is one way it ties into being your authentic self, being able to make an impact at your organization or elsewhere, just making sure that you're always in alignment with your organization, the values, and making sure that they resonate with you.
Absolutely. And in order to do that, we first must know what our values are, right? What are our key values, our core values? This is also a part of our distinctive uniqueness, of who we are, really. And they absolutely must be aligned, or else we might need to at some point look for a different environment if they're not, right? Because it's just not authentic, and it's also not really rewarding in the long term. So yeah, I love that. Okay, and what you mentioned also, Heather, what you mentioned about leaving everybody you interact with um, that additional value, that added value. Yes, just because they have interacted with you, they are a little richer because you've left them with something positive for the day. I really like that a lot.
If I think
Okay, go
my
ahead.
role, right, and the concepts with privacy, just
Yeah.
trying to break it down into layman's terms so that
Mhm.
it's accessible to everyone and they understand what the expectation is before they leave. I think that
Oh,
is,
yeah.
um,
Oh, yeah. You would definitely have to do that with me. So I have an idea, okay, and we've talked before, so I have a little bit of a better idea of some other people than some other people maybe, but these are all these technical areas in an organization that we don't, that are not the main object of our work usually. So we do need a little help from somebody who's compassionate and understanding and who has the patience to interact with us in that way and to deal with us and to explain and put in that little extra energy so that everything runs smoothly. So I really love that. Thank you. Yeah.
Oreo,
So
more than happy.
that's good. Yeah, that's good. And I know you're very patient, so that's definitely a prerequisite for your role in uh, at Northern Trust, the specific one, I guess. So yeah, I'm sure you have become a role model for many people in your organization, and especially younger women. So do you think that's true?
I do connect quite frequently for coffees with different
Mhm.
partners at my organization, and
Mhm.
I've always tried to lead with my ears as well, right? Listen to what the other party is saying, and offer guidance if asked. I don't want to be
Mhm.
overbearing, and because at the end of the day, every individual is in charge of their career and where they
Mhm.
want it to go. So anytime I am approached, though, I've never turned down a coffee to meet with a partner, either internally to my organization, or it's equally important to build a network outside of your organization. So I've met with colleagues that, whether they were in the records information management space or in the broader privacy space, just to talk through, yeah, I don't know, changing laws or things like that. It's not like
Mhm.
they're, it's top secret. We all know what laws are changing, but really talking through how do you practically implement them is something
Right.
that I do well.
Yeah. Yeah. Extremely valuable for sure. Yes. And do you think that, so you're definitely a good listener. You just also confirmed that, right? So do you think that yoga has given you some extra listening skills in some way?
I think it's provided me with the skills to be present in the moment,
Mhm.
not get too far ahead of yourself, but to be present right here, right now. There's
Yeah,
nowhere to go except for this conversation. Um,
exactly.
so, so definitely being present. I would also say in stressful situations, having the ability to remain calm in
Mhm.
stressful situations. That can just the same way, if you were super hyped up about about something,
Mhm.
that can be infectious. But if you are able to maintain a calm demeanor in stressful situations, it really helps for a favorable outcome.
Yeah, and being present in the moment is so, so important. And it's great practice for that. So I just went to yoga class last night. It's so lovely here because there's yoga in the park. You're basically looking up at the sky and at palm trees. And so it's been a little windy lately. So the mats are like flying around, but it's just really fun. There was even a phone flying around the other day. It's so much fun to do that in the park and to, listen to the birds and be out in the and with this lovely fresh air from the ocean. So I
That's
really enjoy that.
kind of
Yes.
a little jealous. We had what was it, an 8 day this past weekend, and then it plummeted. So I'm
Mhm.
kind of jealous of your outdoor yoga.
Yeah, I'll let you know if they need a, if they need a substitute teacher for a class or something.
Yeah.
To fly you in real quick.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So, anything else you'd like to add, Heather, before we close it up?
I mean, for those that are listening, I would say just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to, because that is kind of scary, right? Self discovery, learning about yourself, right?
Mhm.
But it's sort of like holding up a mirror to yourself and seeing everything, seeing the beauty, the things that maybe we need to work on a little bit more. But it's only by learning about yourself that you'll be able to make the impact that you're looking to make. And so that's what I would leave the folks that are listening in with.
Excellent. Fantastic. So, thank you so much. To that, I can only add, we all are looking for role models, at least, at one time in our lives. But I would like to encourage everybody who doesn't find a role model to do what they want to do anyway, because there's nobody else walking on your path. It's your unique path. So don't worry if you cannot find that role model that you're looking for. You're still on the right path. You can do something that nobody else has done before because of how you have come to this earth, how uniquely equipped you have come with that special, unique spark. And before we end today's show, here is my spark. As a multicultural and multilingual transformational leadership coach, I help women team leaders reach their next career goal all the way up to the C suite. And I'm all for driving bold, value driven leadership with a strong focus on people and transformation. So if you're looking to elevate your team leader role, your manager or director role, your VP role, whatever your title is, or move from maybe VP to senior VP into your next level, I invite you to sign up for a strategy session with me where we discuss some great options for your specific situation. Or maybe you're currently looking for a promotion or a raise, and I can help you with that too. To get your free 30-minute strategy session, just click on the link I'll be dropping in the comments field shortly. And with that, I'm saying goodbye. And thank you so much again, Heather, for being with us today, sharing your very unique spark and wisdom right from your heart, and just being who you are. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Regina.